Hey, this is Redera. It's pretty late at night, but I took a nap and I woke up. And then I clicked on the Matrix Eater thread. So today I'm going to make a video about why I haven't posted the latest version of the Matrix Eater. So you can see here, I totally reorganized the structure of the program versus what is available online to try to take all the buttons that were over on the left side of the screen and put them on the top of the screen. Because specifically I intended to start adding a window over here on the left side of the screen, similar to 3ds Max, that would allow you to choose sphere or plane or various things like that. Click the option and then click to draw them. That has not been implemented, so we don't yet support that, which is another reason I don't like to post it, because I feel that it's not finished. But if I were to load a unit, say for example here the Rifleman, you can see that there are definitely design changes versus the previous version of the Matrix Eater. For example, if you look at my mouse, when I mouse over one of these vertices, the mouse will change to a sort of select format mouse. I guess maybe if I zoom in too far, it's a little hard to do. But then you can click on it. So the X and Y locking mechanism that used to exist was replaced with this sort of Autodesk style widget that, as well as clicking to drag in general, you can click to drag on these little arrows that'll move in a particular direction. For people who don't like that, I would note that I'm currently left clicking to interact with these widgets, and you can see my mouse, becomes this sort of a drag click sort of thing. You still left click to select things. So if I mouse over some like one of these, I click to select that, and you can still drag click with the left click to sort of select a group. You can also right click to move if you're in move mode, which is sort of akin to how the Matrix Eater used to be. But if you want to have that sort of locked, you have to do that left click on here. That I can't move it up or down then if I'm doing that. And that much is working on all the dimensions, right? That system is working. It's working for rotate here, right? That I can do this, so I only rotate in one dimension. I can do this, so I rotate in that dimension. I think I can do this vertical rotate. So there's a lot that works in this system that's sort of better than how it used to be, right? Where I sort of have like a lock and a rotate that I can rotate in a locked fashion. I can also just right click to do a locked rotate in the old sort of Matrix Eater way. And scaling is the exact same. You have this scale widget that normally scales in all dimensions. Can also say you want to scale in one dimension, scale in another dimension, or scale in a pair of two dimensions, right? So this guy's really like flat now because I've scaled his face in sort of my vertical and side to side, but not out towards us. Which of course would be, if I control Z here, would be different than if I clicked the center and scaled it. So this is a total and complete rewrite that just basically looks the same of the actual interaction code. And it's for that reason that you can go into select like vertex group mode, right? So like now I click his hand and it gets his whole hand, and it's still true that you can still scale in that way. I can still go to like mouse manipulate here, and it'll still mouse manipulate his hand forward and backward like that. Also, the breakdown of this view controller was completely changed, so that instead of just seeing a list of geosets and then the ability to toggle nodes on and off, there is a node on and off button here, but it's like a parent. So you could also say, what if I want to edit like his rifle down here? I can activate that node, which of course has the rifle, and then attachment point for weapons and the particle emitter when it'll fire. And you could mouse through here and like find the rifle and try to hook that up. Obvious downsides to this current system: we've lost the ability to toggle something to be visible but not editable, which was very convenient. We have also lost the ability to only show children of actively visible geosets in this thing. I mean, you can do it, but you have to click through like, oh, well, I'm looking at his body, so I'll toggle bone root on and off or something, right? It lends itself towards a little bit more user effort to make sure you have the right nodes, but also more control over which nodes you're seeing in editing. Also, things like collision shapes now are sort of a clickable sphere that you can drag with the new selection system. Particle emitters have a special particle emitter icon that you can see and stuff like that. So, like, a lot of the things in this system are working, implemented new Matrix Eater features that look like, oh, that's pretty reasonable. Look at that, I can do faces. I don't particularly like my implementation of select by faces because it hits everything through with array, right? If you look at when I'm clicking here on his arm, I'm clicking like the front and back of his arm. I'm not like able to just like select the front or like select the back. So I find that very annoying. Another interesting thing is that you can undock, like previously here I was looking at the rifleman, and now here's the rifleman's portrait. You can move and undock windows, and this is where the program breaks apart, and another reason that I currently haven't been using it. In theory, this is very nice because it means I could, click this, sort of undock the rifleman here, and be able to drag that around, and then say, oh, I want to work on the rifleman or work on the portrait. But you face this question then, well, what does save do? Like, how does it know if it's going to save the rifleman or the rifleman portrait? And as you can see here, this view controller mechanism is just going haywire, blinking between the rifleman and the rifleman portrait in a seemingly random fashion. Um, but I like the windowing system because now I have like a window drop down. So you can say, well, what if I want to have an MPQ browser? I typically do this in Magos where I'll just sit there and I'll just look at models. Like, well, I wonder what this model looks like. Oh, that's pretty good. Well, I wonder what this model looks like. And to that end, I began to support BLP loading, so I can load a texture like Magos. And look at that. There's a lot here that could, like, it has potential, right? That, like, it seems like this could be, you could start replacing Magos with this if I made a rendering mechanism, which I currently don't have. Or animating, right? We have rendering. I mean, like an animating viewing kind of thing. You can just click here, but Magos only shows one thing at a time, right? So when I'm sitting here clicking these, I'm spam opening these new windows, and then there's whole other problems. So like you can take these windows and drag them around, like oh front, perspective, side. Like conceptually, that's very nice. Like okay, I would probably want to be able to do this in the final version of the Matrix Eater. But in this version here, if I close front, you can never get front back. Like, oh, now you just bottom side perspective. There's no like window front. It's just broken. Animation viewer, this doesn't work. This is just a static picture that doesn't. It's like a reminder to myself someday I'm gonna have an animation viewer. That's just broken. Never use that. We also have the unit browser. I have this MPQ browser, but maybe if I get fed up with that, I'm like, well, I actually want to just think on the unit level for Warcraft. You can just open the unit browser, and you have standard units and custom units. I don't have the functionality to open a map yet, but I do have the ability to parse unit data, which is not coded into this. So, like, maybe you could benefit from that. But this, you can still double-click, like, the MPQ browser and click, see, like, oh, Forgotten One, or, like, Campaign, like, oh, Lady Vosh, oh, there you go. And it gives you that sort of unit level functionality kind of stuff. I think we also have. Wait, if I right click, does that just instantly open them? No, I just double right clicked. Okay, it's like Blood Mage. So like now I have like a billion tabs open. This new tabbing system, you have to click this little retarded arrow. You can't just see them all at the same time. You can open the MPQ browser and the unit browser at the same time, and then you just go crazy. MPQ browser. So like in general, like what you would want to be able to do is close all these, see the model, and then have it work like Magos, where I'm like, oh, well now I want to open build doodads. Now I want to open this Baron's Tree doodad, let's say. I want to open that. And you would want to have that, like you just double click, there we go. Double click that and just continue to show the perspective window, right? Some level of remembering how I currently did stuff and have a function to open new windows. So there's this whole world of potential in what I've been working on, but the way it's currently implemented, I just don't like. We do have export and copy to clipboard in here like Magos. I'm pretty sure that works. Found it exports as Baron's Tree doodad. Yeah, let's save this as Unga Bunga test. So, just give it some name. Unga Bunga test. I'll put that in my test folder. I'm actually a little curious. Should I click this open? This is my new open icon. Look at that. That's pretty cool, right? Unga Bunga test. If I open that, it does work. Yeah, that worked. So we exported the Baron's Tree doodad with right-click export. So you can do that to anything in the MPQ. That's new. Problem, yet again. Which freaking MPQ did I open? It didn't ask me. It just, oh, it's the MPQ browser. So this is actually browsing everything in the game at once. It's not segregated like you would see in Magos. We have Naga, right, which is like the Frozen Throne. But we also have like everything from the original campaign. I don't know, like Nazgul, is he maybe the original campaign? You open Undead, you have everything in the Undead. You don't have Frozen Throne, War 3, MPQ. The MPQs they're just interlocked. They're just merged, which is specifically because most of the time I figure I would want to use this unit browser where I just browse units, right? So there's a lot of strides being made here, and I've actually been talking to the Hive a little bit. Now this is lagging here. Let's close unit browser and MPQ browser. I had this theory, right? What if we have the Hive browser? This is all. Don't look at this. It's not finished. But the theory would be to build in the Hive browser. You could just click through the Hive models and browse those also. So there's just this world of potential that is just not being used and not finished. And so when I think about this, it kind of just bothers me because of what I want it to be. Right, we still do have like add particle, add animation, but there are other things that are lost here. So let's say I turn on nodes. I think I saw this before. What is this trying to? Oh, it's selecting face. So I want to select vertex. So let's say I select this guy by vertex, and I like mirror by the x dimension. I'm thinking, or mirror by the y dimension. Those sounds, I don't even know if those are correctly in the same place as they were before. Actually, it kind of looks like maybe they are. Okay, if I mirror this and these, do they mirror between the two of them? There we go, mirror Y. I know I was talking about this before. Oh, they did get fixed. Okay, so I must have fixed the mirror function, but I think like if I hit Control D to clone, new version here, instead of cloning how it previously where everything is named copy, it lets you name the newly created nodes. Frankly, that's really annoying, and now you have this stupid pop-up every time. And the selection mechanism when you clone something is super broken as frick, because it did definitely clone the nodes. Like if I go in here, they're definitely like ASDF node I just created, like that's in there, but it's on top of something else, right? So like it didn't select it, and if it doesn't, like if you clone something and you don't select the new result, you can't manipulate it. You can't. Oh, there's some bug here where the shift to shift select sometimes now will like forget, and it was like if I open one of these, I think it forget. No. All right, there's something. Oh, it's the pop-up window. So I had shift select, and then I hit control. I don't even know what hotkey that was. I shift select and I hit control D. Oh, I'm hitting control. My finger's missing. It's very late at night. I what? Control D locates the Warcraft directory? Really? No. I thought it's control D duplicate. Duplicate. There we go. This pop-up freezes the control to shift select for some reason. Like that's super dumb. It shouldn't be that way. I don't like that. Or I guess anything. Yeah, like that froze it to shift select. So this is broken. That's really annoying as frick. Other than that, you can't read the about page. It's like you have to do this. That's broken. What else do we have? If I go to the edit UV mapping, it doesn't even open the window. It just crashes internally. Editing UV mapping is completely broken. We do have this put together two animations for that guy, DTN Mag or Misha, and I can say stand and stand work, and stand and stand work. There we go. We're gonna call this Booyah, and it'll make a new animation called Booyah, and that actually I think works. Duplicate is on here now. As far as copy paste was concerned, I was talking about that. So like if I click on the Mountain King's head, I guess we want his beard too. So if I can like, shift select. Apparently his beard is on a different geometry set. Let's say I select his little weapon over here. I can hit Control C, and I can go not to that guy because we close. Right, once you go to perspective, you can't go back. Once you go to perspective, you can't go back. Control V over here, and we'll paste in like the weapon. That's pretty convenient. It does paste in copied model dummy node. So the new mesh is attached to this copy model dummy node. I believe. Select by vertex group selects geosets independently, which is a little weird. So both of these would be on sort of the same vertex group or the same node really, but it is sort of vertex group conceptually in that regard. I think add team color underlayer probably doesn't work anymore. I think that one broke. Yeah, you can rename bones now, but you can't see their name. That's another missing function. You can't see the bones' name in node space. That's stupid. So generally what we have is a program that has like, an interesting world of potential, but definitely lacking some things. Also, I think a preferences window doesn't really do anything. You can make the model wireframe, but you could already do that if you just click view wireframe. So that's about all it is for that. I think I added recalculate normals. That was fun. You see, I don't think the old version had that. Does this work? I'm kind of curious if it works. Let's go to like one of these portraits. Can I show normals still? Oh yeah, I can show normals, and let's select them and edit, recalculate all the normals. What do we got? They definitely changed. So yeah, I think if I do snap normals, I ruin them. So all the normals are just vertical. Now he looks terrible. The lighting is broken. You can recalculate the normals, make them face outward again. It looks decent. So I mean, I did some like vector math to make that happen. So we're making progress. One step forward and two steps back. I guess is what people say. Um, yeah, that's about it. Where we're at for that. You can still do like fetch object editor, I think. Oh no, I broke this. Yep, I broke this one. Now it says com Warcraft units standard object. The object handling mechanism is broken. So I guess now you would probably never use fetch object editor. You'd probably just use window unit browser because it's so much better. But it's still kind of everything is terrible. You can undock the view controller, and that's fun. So like this is how it should have been always, right? Is that you want to be able to undock your view controller because people like that was already a function I had in there that seemed reasonable, but it's just like as soon as I start like moving these windows around, like oh here's this guy, but oh here's the perspective. Oh, I'll put that over here and I'll work on him over there, and oh it's now when I click the mouse wheel, this starts jittering. What is even happening? I grab this and move it. That updates live. That's kind of cool, but like why is it broken? Why everything is terrible? Everything look at this. Everything is broken. It wanted to be what it isn't, and now it's dead. I'm not even sure what just happened there. All right, but yeah, you can just open some unit. So like if I take this unit browser and if I take my MPQ browser and I take the Hive browser and a couple other things and we link them together, we make a new program. I think it could have potential. I think it could have real potential. I had a new idea for a. Oh gosh. Oh, there we go. I had a new idea for a GUI design. I was going to call it the Sarah program, and I wonder if that is still on here. Sarah frame and configurations. Sarah frame. So this is my new idea, which you can tell where this came from. This is a ripoff of Magos, and it doesn't work. It doesn't do anything. So we're done here. All right.